Are you asking yourself whether you should leave your Betta's light on or off at night? The short answer is off. But if you want to learn more about your Betta, such as the dangers of having too much light or not enough, why sunlight may not be as good as you think, and how long you should leave your light on for, then keep watching. So do Betta fish need a light at night? To understand why you should turn your Betta's light off at night, it helps to understand their natural habitat. You see, Bettas live in rice paddies and river basins around Southeast Asia. As you can imagine, these basins are often much more shallow than other tropical fish are used to. In fact, in summer months, the basins and rivers can often evaporate completely, meaning Bettas have to jump from one small puddle to another. The point is, while a Betta fish may live in areas that are thick with vegetation, they also live so close to sunlight they have a day and nighttime cycle. Or, in other words, they like to sleep when the sun goes down and wake when the sun comes up. So as you can probably guess, if you start leaving your Betta's light on or off too long, then it can have drastic consequences. So what happens if your Betta gets too much light? Now that you know Betta fish need both light and darkness to thrive, you may be wondering what happens if your Betta is getting too much light. Well, there are a few things that could end up happening. The most common thing that is going to happen if your Betta gets too much light is overstimulation. Without knowing when to rest, your Betta will be active all the time. This can result in them becoming stressed and agitated. Another problem that can result from too much light is that your fish may stop eating. This could be due to the stress and overstimulation, or it could also result from your Betta finding it hard to know when feeding time is going to happen. In short, too much light is going to wreak havoc on your Betta's body clock. But what happens if your Betta doesn't get enough light? If your Betta doesn't get enough light, then they can often lose their beautiful colouring. Instead of looking healthy and vibrant, they may begin to look dull and weak. However, other factors can cause this as well, such as pH level, algae bloom and temperature. Now that you're getting a better understanding of whether you should leave your Betta's fish light on or off at night, wouldn't it just be easier to use natural light? Unfortunately, there are some problems with using natural light like sunlight. The problem with sunlight is that you don't have much control over it or the effects it's going to have. In fact, too much sunlight can lead to bad consequences. One of the main problems with sunlight is it could cause an algae bloom. And if there's an algae bloom in your tank, then the visibility is going to be affected. Another problem that you may not have considered is the effect on temperature. If your tank is in sunlight all day, then it could cause the temperature to rise uncomfortably or dangerously high, causing stress in your Betta and quite possibly temperature shock and death. Instead of sunlight, it's a lot safer to use artificial light. Unlike sunlight, artificial lights are made for your fish tank and aren't going to affect the temperature of your tank, or produce as much algae compared to sunlight. And if you're worried about forgetting to turn your light on or off at night, then don't forget, you can always use automatic lights that turn off when you want. And remember, you're not going to need an overly powerful light for your Betta tank. As an old rule of thumb, you should aim for 1 watt per gallon or below for LED lights and 1.5 to 3 watts per gallon for fluorescent lights. However, if you're not sure, your best bet is to go into your local pet store and simply ask a professional to guide you. When you've installed your artificial light, there is one thing you're going to need to watch out for. Sometimes artificial lights can cause your aquarium to reflect in on itself. Because of this, your Betta may begin to act in an aggressive manner, thinking its territory is being threatened. If you notice your Betta showing aggressive behaviour, then you may need to buy a weaker light or find some way to stop the reflection occurring, such as only turning the aquarium light on when the room light is on. Your Betta is most likely to see himself when the tank light is on but the room light is off. Another thing you can try to do is introduce the light slowly to him. Turn it on for a couple of hours a day and then gradually increase it until it's up to 8 to 12 hours and he's showing no aggressive signs. Lastly, you can also try placing an aquarium backdrop to help darken your tank. So how much light does your Betta need? When considering how long you should leave your aquarium light on and off for, you're going to want to mimic a Betta's natural environment as much as possible. Unlike our days, a Betta's days can often be shorter. Remember, dense vegetation can often block out more sunlight. Because of this, the amount of light your Betta needs a day can range from 8 to 12 hours, and the amount of darkness it needs can range from 12 to 16 hours. Now you should have a solid understanding of whether to leave a Betta fish light on or off at night, and of course the answer is off. And the most important things you need to remember are that too much sunlight can overstimulate your Betta, causing stress and agitation as well as possibly causing feeding problems. If your Betta spends too much time in darkness, it could lose its colour, and that you should avoid direct sunlight in your tank and opt for an artificial light instead. As well as this, too much sunlight can heat the water of your tank up to uncomfortable or dangerous levels, and it can also increase the amount of algae that occurs in the tank. And lastly, your Betta has a day and night cycle just like you do. You should aim to give your Betta 8 to 12 hours of light and 12 to 16 hours of darkness per day. And if you notice your Betta is acting in an aggressive manner when the light is on, then it could be because he is seeing his own reflection, in which case you need to find some way to stop this behaviour. Thanks for listening and have a great day.